Hi everybody, it's Louisa here, and I have another project share for you today. I made a little storage piece for my markers, but first I want to show you what I used. I broke out one of my favorite pads, and I love it so much that when I found it at Big Lots for $4, I bought like 3 or 4 packs of these because I just love the patterns, the colors. It's double-sided. I always love double-sided paper when doing these kind of projects, and well, it's just gorgeous. And it's called, let's see what the name is. Life's Journey Designer Paper. I guess that's what it's called. From K&N Company. So, what I used, I didn't even cut into any new paper. I used this paper here. This is the part on the outside, and this is the part on the inside. And then I used this paper here, and I used this part on the outside. And I had used these because I actually had these large scraps left from a previous project, and I'll show you. It's from my tissue box that I had done a while back. If you've been following me that long, I made this tissue box that is in my craft room. I actually use it. And eventually I will do a few more. I'm going to do one for my bathroom and then maybe some to sell in my shop. So, sorry. So I decided to make a coordinating, camera's all messed up, a coordinating container for my markers. So it's not exactly the same, but it's very similar, using most of the same colors. Just added a little blue into this one. Used the same papers, but what I did was use the reverse side as the outside, the brown, instead of the green part that was on the tissue box. And the reason why I needed this, I bought this pack. Let me show you. I bought these markers at Tuesday morning on sale for $19.99, the Chromatics. And they were already in a nice container, and they had these two like sleeves inside with where you insert your markers, right? And supposedly you open this up and open it, you know, like that, like a book, and then you can pull out your markers as you need them. But the whole thing kept falling, or the markers kept falling out every time that I would open it. So it was kind of, you know, pissing me off. So I had taken out the markers and put them in something else temporarily, but I wanted to go shopping and find me one of those things that hold your markers, you know, like for your Copics and stuff like that. But I never got to it. I missed out on the storage sale, and then I just ended up getting lazy because there was coupons and everything that I could have used. So I decided to build my own, and what I am using this for, I'm not throwing it out because it's still a good container without those inserts. I put in my what's it called, Natasha Scrapbook Corner goodies in here that I purchased, and the ones from the Guest Design Team package that she sent me. So what I'm going to do later is just cover this part up, because I can't remove that without, it doesn't come off cleanly, so I'm not going to mess with that. So I just cover this section instead of everything. So I decided to create my own little storage for my markers, and what I used was a cylinder type of gift box. This is the top of it, so if you can imagine a long piece that come around here. I picked it up at the Dollar Tree in the section where all the Valentine's Day stuff was, or is, and they had like heart-shaped boxes and everything, and they had these long cylinder boxes in there, and there was like a red ribbon on it too. So I took the bottom part, and it was just the perfect length to stick in my markers and still have it kind of sticking out like that. And it's just the right size, so I can still see the colors. And I was telling my husband that I wanted something, and he goes and hands me this nasty looking thing that I don't know where he got it from. And I threw them all in there, but you know, you gotta kind of, you know, move them around to find the color that you want. So I was saying I want to see my caps. So anyway, I altered the bottom part of this, and what I did do was I did remove this paper. It reminds me of wrapping paper. It was a little hard, but I got it all off. I picked it all off and ended up with just the like the chipboard that it's made out of. So I'll move this thing. This thing's always sliding around on me. So I show you the papers, and then I also used, I didn't show you this, I used some, this one trim here from Michaels, and this one here. And then I used some of this that somebody gave me, a few bits, and what I did was gather it to give it a little bit of a, like a flare. I didn't turn it into a flower, but I just wanted to give a little bit of that. As far as trims, oh, and then a scrap of this piece here from, I think that one was Lavish Laces, and flowers from Wild Orchid Crafts. These are the mahogany flowers, and some black Wild Orchid Craft flowers that I just got not that long ago. Jet black open, it says. I know it's not focusing on that. I didn't use this one. I used some more of the Wild Orchid Craft flowers in different shades of these light green. Some of these from my stash, and I think these mint ones are Wild Orchid Craft. These are from my stash. They're peach. I wanted to just use peach blues, like a light or sky blue and brown and black. So I used some out of this pack, the plain blue ones that was in this strip, and then one of these peach ones from Michaels. These are new to Michaels. These are from last year. I used a couple of these from Michaels. And these are new. I used one of these, the black ones from Michaels. And then I used a whole bunch of glass beads that I have, because I was trying to mimic the look of the tissue box. The only thing I didn't add to it was the chain that it has. I didn't think it needed it, so I was like, that's, you know, fine as it is. Didn't want to overdo it, even though it looks overdone anyway. So I'm just putting these things away. I have my new storage system now where I have things labeled so that I can put things away a lot faster and I don't lose anything. So, and these are my I know I mentioned this before, but these Dollar Tree baskets, oh my gosh, I just pick them up and I go shopping in my room for whatever I need to use in my projects, and then I can put it all back in there and put everything back fast because everything is labeled now. It is awesome. Anyway, I'm rambling and my throat's starting to hurt. So there it is. Here's my little marker storage piece. It kind of reminds me of a cannon, but a pretty one. And you can see I layered the two papers. I'm going to remove these markers because I know they're going to go flying out. So I'm going to go ahead and use my husband's thing. Okay. I left the inside white. That's pretty much how it was. I didn't cover it. I was going to, but I said, you know what? I'm going to be doing some white gesso, so it's still going to go. And most of it gets covered with the markers anyway. After I removed that red paper off of this thing, I did ink my edges with some walnut stain. I use walnut stain on all the paper, you know, distressing. I adhered my printed paper down after I inked and distressed it, and I just used Mod Podge on that one. And then I added my second sheet, which is slightly thinner this way. And I also did, you know, some tearing of my paper like I have done before, and curling and over here too, so that you could see the print underneath. I did ink all the edges of that too. And then with that one, I adhered it down with my quick dry adhesive, the Scotch quick dry. So yeah, you know, I curled certain parts and even the little ones here too, and then there's one little one tucked back here. Now this piece, after I was done with the top part, my seam is on the bottom. It is right, I think, where is it? It's so well hidden that I don't know where it is. It's like right there. I placed it, I hot glued it down on this base that I created, and It's a wooden, I don't know what you call it, like a plaque that somebody had given to me, and I can't remember who it was. It was a while ago, but I finally got to use it. It's the only plaque I had, actually. And what I did to the plaque before putting this down on it is I cut another piece of paper from the collection. I had a little scrap of this one. It's just a floral print. It's the same as the cover of the paper stack. So just that I bring in a little more color down there. And then on the bottom part, the whole thing, I added some, I rubbed on the antique silver, that's called, from Inca Gold. But it looks more like a gold. Well, actually, it kind of looks like an old, I don't know, brass maybe. And on top of that, on the edges only, I did the hematite color of Inca Gold. And whatever was left on my finger, I just kind of wiped real quick on there to dull down the gold, and then just buffed it out so it's nice and soft. So it kind of looks like a metal base, like an old brass metal base. So I adhered my cylinder down to one side of my base so that I can start a floral arrangement from the base up, and then just go over up to here, and then a little arrangement on this side. And I'll start with a little arrangement first. Let me zoom in. Sorry, I need some water. This cold weather and the dry air now that we are getting in Florida is just driving my throat and sinuses insane. Alright, so there's a little cluster there with all the flowers that I mentioned, and then I added glass beads to go, and I just use all the colors. And then there's one little peach one here, and then up here where this curl is that Lavish Laces piece. It was just like just a snippet of it that went underneath. It's just hot glued under there. And then more flowers everywhere. And on this side is where that one trim is. Let's see, go this way. You see how I just made it into a little, I don't know, it reminds me of a little hanky. So I put that on that side, and you see all my flowers. Whoa. Yeah, don't want that. That's why I took out the markers. So anyway, there's some more pearls, and then just more flowers and pearls. And let's see, this way, on this side, under this curl is actually two scallops, but it ended up covering one of them, so you only see the one. I believe that is finally the last scrap of this trim that I have that somebody gave me. I totally love that. And then there's more flowers. Now you didn't see these. These were in my stash, large peach flowers that goes with this one here. So flowers, 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 and then beads, more flowers, and then even on the bottom here, I tucked in beads and flowers, and then some more of that trim that I had ruffled, and then another flower to kind of cover that gap. And on the back, I never took out the red out of this part because I couldn't get to any of the edges to try to pick it out. So I just covered it with some more of that paper, and you can kind of tell the red peeking through, so I was just trying to cover it with this trim, the Michaels trim. See, and then the red was over this little ledge, and I picked it all off, and I left that cardboard look, or whatever that is called, the chipboard or whatever. I just left it like that. I just inked it with the walnut stain. It's just part of the vintage grungy look. So after I was done with everything, I just went ahead and used my textured gesso and went all over the whole thing. Hopefully it shows, but you should see it. You should have been able to see it in my photos. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let me put these back in so you get one more look. I did sort of have this in a color coordination, but I'll fix it later. So I want you to see how nicely they all fit in there. And they're not, this isn't rolling around. Because first I just had the cylinder, but the cylinder was rolling around everywhere. And I was like, you know, I gotta stabilize it. So I ended up gluing it. And even if, yeah, even though I glued this down, I still put the flowers on the side to help it. So, you know, if I do knock it, the glue doesn't get undone. Okay, there we go. You see how there's, you don't even see the white inside anymore because that pretty much fills it up. And it just sticks out just enough for me to grab what I need, whatever color, and you could see all the colors there, and that's it. That's my new marker holder. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.